Hi, this is Claude.
And I'm Clinton.
This is our review of Spider-Man Far From Home.
Does the newest MCU movie bring it home, or is it far from a good time?
I don't know, I liked it.
Oh, so did I. Well, it's really the intro, I guess. The mouse runs our lives.
Yes, Spider-Man Far From Home. So that was we have lots of thoughts. We're still very fresh on it. So I'm just going to take it away. So the first major point I'd like to talk about, overall I thought it was, a great movie, and I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, so I have lots of thoughts on it. But my kind of biggest issue with the entire movie was just the focus on high school. I understand that he's in high school and it's Spider-Man basically going through everyone's problems, trying to get your favorite crush or whatever. But I mean it just at times it's okay, can we pick it up? This is a
definitely felt a lot like padding in parts, just trying to stretch it out to a 2-hour mark.
Right. And I guess I think it's the third shortest movie in the MCU.
In parts, it felt the longest.
I was just holy crap.
Yeah.
It kind of felt towards the end, it was a marathon. It kind of felt like Lord of the Rings. I was like, all right. And this is coming from a Spider-Man guy, and I was like, all right, let's go ahead and get on getting.
For sure. It was good. But there were definitely some pacing issues with it. It was a lot of romance with MJ in the first half, but after the first half, the movie really picked up pretty well. It kind of started off basically like a jog. You start off with the jog, and then you just went to a full sprint at the halfway point with Mysterio. It really picked up a lot at that point.
Right, and that's not to say. Well, in my opinion, I thought MJ was pretty good.
Yeah, good actress.
It wasn't as painful as I thought it was going to be. After Homecoming, it was everything that she said was deadpan. I was like, that can get old real fast, in a 2-hour movie. But she did a really good job, and I know a lot of people were upset. They're like, she's not MJ, technically, or whatever. Yeah. But I don't know it was fine to me. There were parts where it was almost like Amazing Spider-Man 1, where they're Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone would be and then they would always just stutter. They wouldn't say anything. It was these awkward scenes, and there's some parts where it is a little bit cringe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I think they both did a good job.
The first half definitely felt like low-cal, the movie. It's basically the premise is they're going on a European trip for science for reasons, and it starts off in Venice, and then it goes to Prague, culminates in London.
I don't know where any of these places are.
Yeah,
I was looking at a map.
It's all Narnia,
Middle Earth.
Yeah, and but it was I mean, cool to see. It's friendly neighborhood Spider-Man though. I feel like it should have just been in New York the whole time. I don't feel it doesn't need to be globetrotting Spider-Man just yet. I mean, we can wait for that for a while. So we're still getting to know this character.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had only one major movie, and then a bunch of kind of cameos and other stuff. So we don't really know this kid yet.
Yeah.
Tom Holland, I know we disagree on this, but I think he's great. But he's not.
No, don't be.
I'm sorry, spoilers.
Yeah.
But I think he's a good Peter Parker. He's a good Spider-Man. But we just don't know. We don't know him that well. And for me, Tom Holland's a good Ultimate Spider-Man, based on the comics and stuff like that. It's just wrapping around to the high school point.
I just hope in the sequel, because it's coming, obviously.
Yeah, there's gonna be a third one. Yeah.
I'm like, can he just, like, not to reference, Amazing Spider-Man 2. You didn't even see that one, did you?
I know I didn't.
Well, you're not missing anything. And so he eventually graduates from high school early on in the movie, and I hope they do that for the sequel, because I've had it with high school stuff, it's just like, all right, and I know that's an important part, of his entire, backstory, but it's,
Well, the good thing is they never address what grade he is, so, I mean, he could be a senior for all we know. This could have been their senior trip. This could be their sophomore trip.
It's because they're waiting for our review.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like, all right, are they going to disagree with our school choices?
The one of my favorite parts though was the beginning with the special report. Kind of a touching, like this happens in the first 5 minutes, so it's a touching little tribute to Iron Man, Tony Stark, which there is a lot of in this movie. Being post Endgame, they definitely pay homage to Iron Man quite a bit.
Yeah, and then in that first, homage scene, I thought it was hilarious.
It was funny. Yeah. It was good.
I guess the next point I like to really address is kind of, just talking about Iron Man in general.
Sure.
Obviously, I mean, you guys have seen Endgame. It's been out. It's, the most, like, it's about, I don't know if it's overtaken Avatar yet.
It didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't.
I mean, we've all seen it. Everyone's seen it. Everyone's baby that hasn't been born has seen it. But obviously, spoilers if you haven't seen it. If you're like my grandma, that's basically it. And she doesn't care anyway. But Tony Stark, obviously is gone now.
Yeah.
And
I mean, if you saw a trailer for this movie, you know he's gone.
Right.
So
yeah, that's true.
He's done.
So it's just like in Homecoming, like one of my biggest gripes about the whole MCU Spider-Man is it's Tony Stark Jr. and it's really frustrating because Peter Parker doesn't need Tony Stark. And I get that it's a father figure, but there's just so much missing in terms of, I mean, we've only really heard Uncle Ben addressed once, maybe twice. And it's kind of, it's just as a fan of the character, that's who Spider-Man is his old mantra is based on Uncle Ben and his failure to, really protect him just because he was a kid and, he took advantage of what he had. So it is kind of frustrating because you see him use a lot of Tony Stark tech. There's a moment where he uses it pretty heavily. And it's just, I would have rather seen Peter Parker use his brains instead of use a touchscreen that had all the options in it. And I guess they try to think, or make you believe that using a touchscreen you're super smart. I use a tablet every night. So, I would have rather seen Peter Parker make his own stuff instead of rely heavily on it.
Yeah, and I remember in Homecoming, I think he builds his own web formula. He builds.
Yeah,
he's constructing the web.
They do a good job on that.
And then in this one, he does take a little bit more of an active science approach near the end. He kind of gets a little, what's the word? I guess intrigued by everything that's going on with Mysterio when Mysterio shows up, and near the end, parts of his suit as well. But it's definitely not as. He's not as science-based as I feel like he should be.
Right.
Because like you said, I do agree with that. He should be building his own stuff. He should be kind of constructing. I mean, I'm sure he built his first one out of sweatpants and riding goggles. But I was just like, I feel he needs to be doing a little bit more. He's bigger. He is just a kid still. So
and they tried to hammer that down in the first one too by taking away his suit. They're like, oh look, he could do it, all without all the technology. But really, I mean, okay, cool. Yeah. It doesn't. It seems like that whole viewpoint was completely changed in this one. And that's another thing I want to talk about is all the Spider-Man suits in this. It felt like dress-up Spider-Man.
It was like action. It was product placement for action figures. That's pretty much what
oh my gosh. There is the Homecoming suit. There is the new stealth suit, which is the Spider-Man Noir-looking one.
Yeah.
There's an Iron Spider.
Minus top hat.
Yeah. Or trench coat or a
exactly.
gun.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there's the black and red one that you see you know, like all over the promo stuff for this movie. And then they also show a little bit of, I guess, the homemade one. You know, you just see a little blip of it. But it's still like, okay, cool. Just stick to one. Because I'm pretty sure the stealth suit had, there was no point for it. He could...
it was black.
Yeah. It's just like,
it was just, I'm surprised it didn't have a shield sticker on
that would have been kind of cool.
That would have been kind of neat, yeah. But I honestly, parts of this movie, I wanted to play the PlayStation 4 game.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
he's taking selfies.
I want to play that game
when
now.
he's web slinging. Yeah, and he's doing the peace sign.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was pretty much ripped from the game.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's talk about Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio.
Okay. Yeah.
In my opinion, he was the best part of the movie. Without going into spoilers, you know, it's just he brought a lot to the film, and you know, he's such a great actor too.
Yeah, he definitely stole the movie in parts. I thought he was great. I really enjoy. I'm a sucker for Jon Favreau, so I really like Happy Hogan. Jon Favreau wrote one of my favorite movies, Swingers, from 1996. It's on Netflix. Go watch it. It's a good movie. And but he has a prominent role in this movie, and Happy Hogan's great. Like every time Happy's on the screen, it's like
it felt and you know, I love Happy Hogan, but just his prominence in the movie. I'm like, are we still stuck in this Iron Man thing? And like, is that going to be stuck on the character Spider-Man going forward? It's just like, it always feels like Iron Man or Tony Stark is tacked on. No more. Like, I'm done with it. I'm trying to think, I guess just...
I'm sorry, you're talking about Mysterio. With Mysterio, was definitely the highlight of the movie, though. He was, and again, we won't get into spoilers right now, but yeah, I mean, honestly, like reading almost all the comics, I don't read all the tie-ins. You know, I can't afford that. But you know, just the amazing Spider-Man from 1 to where it's at now. Out of the movies, Mysterio has been my absolute favorite villain of Spider-Man on the movie screen. It's just so cool how they did him, and it's so awesome. And they explain things about some of his abilities that they don't really even go into detail in the comic. You just sometimes you're kind of like left with, okay, he's like a props maker and stuff like that in the comics. But some of the stuff that he pulls off is just like, this guy is like hitting people with like scarecrow stuff, you know, like, but they did a really good job in this movie. He was definitely a great asset to the film, but I still like Vulture a little bit more, just because Vulture had more of
You're wrong, but go ahead.
Everyone has the right. Vulture, I feel like, had a better backstory. I felt he was more tragic backstory. Yeah. And I just liked him. I don't know. It's Michael Keaton.
It is Michael Keaton. Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal's good too. He was good in,
especially after Birdman. Then Michael Keaton was Vulture.
Exactly.
And Batman. It's like, what is going on here? This dude is a bird.
That was good. Yeah. But I liked it. Yeah. I still like Vulture just a bit more.
Gotcha.
But Mysterio's good too.
Well, I guess. Oh, yeah. The other thing I wanted to touch on was the effects in the movie and the fight scenes.
I think that's where the PS4 thing came in for me.
At times it did feel very video gamey, where the visuals almost kind of looked muddy, where you kind of lose track. Like if they use a little bit of CGI, it looks great. And some scenes look amazing. I thought it's got some awesome action pieces that have topped everything in the MCU. But then there's other times where it's just like, all right.
Yeah, considering what they were doing, though, I understand why they had to be so reliant on CG. But it's just practical's nice too. There's nothing wrong with practical effects.
It's just like a couple points. I'm like, how many practical suits of Spider-Man were there? Like, because most of the time it was just like it's that rubbery feel, like CGI. Like,
I don't think there could have been that many, honestly.
Probably one and a half.
I'd say like 2, maybe if that.
So, out of 10, what would you give?
Out of 10?
Spider-Man Far From Home.
7?
7?
7, yeah. I mean, I actually liked Homecoming more.
Okay.
I just thought Homecoming was a more cohesive movie. I thought it was better structured.
Mm-hmm.
This being the first movie after Endgame.
Yeah,
and
there's
wrapping up Phase 3.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how Endgame doesn't wrap up Phase 3. To be honest, like that should have just been it for a while.
It probably had to do something with contracts.
Yeah, maybe.
John Favreau really pulling down the budget.
Hey, he's a producer.
Yeah. Okay.
Give him a break. But no, I think it was a good. Like this would have been a good Phase 4, like start to that.
Oh yeah.
I don't think we needed. I think we need a bit more of a break between Endgame and this movie. Because so much happened in Endgame.
For me, I would honestly give Spider-Man Far From Home an 8 out of 10. I thought it's been the second best live-action Spider-Man movie I've seen. Obviously, Amazing Spider-Man 2 is number 1. No, that's Spider-Man 2. Not the amazing version.
Tobey Maguire one.
Yeah.
Doc Ock.
But this one's the second best out of all of them. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. And if you could, please hit like and subscribe, and we would appreciate it.
Thanks for stopping by. Have a good one.
See ya.